A 1992 cold case out of Lycoming County is in the spotlight. Today is Thursday, September 4th, and this is 570 News on the Go, brought to you in part by NorthCentralPA.com. Strong thunderstorms are possible today, otherwise it will be mostly sunny with highs in the low 80s. The Reading man who was injured in a freak accident on Route 15 in Lycoming County on Monday has died from his injuries. The Sun-Gazette reports 49-year-old Eric Diaz passed away late Tuesday afternoon at Geisinger. Jessica Stebbins was driving and Diaz was a front seat passenger in their car that was traveling south on Route 15 in Armstrong Township when a tire from a northbound Ford Fusion broke loose, bounced over the concrete barrier, and smashed into the windshield. Stebbins and a juvenile who was in the back seat are recovering from non-life-threatening injuries. The operator of the Ford Fusion was not hurt. The FAA has released their findings of a plane crash that killed a 17-year-old pilot from Hughesville. The federal agency concluded the cause of the crash was likely due to pilot error. On July 4th of last year, Maze Bittler was on her second solo flight when she was unable to establish an appropriate climb airspeed and altitude in her final approach to the Williams T. Piper Airport in Lock Haven. The plane struck the top of a tree, hit a second tree, came to rest, and burst into flames across the river from the airport. Just a couple of weeks before that fatal accident, Bittler, who was a recent Hughesville High School graduate, was featured in a Sun-Gazette article about her love of flying and her goal to become an airline pilot. Middle school and high school students in the Loyalsock Township School District were allowed to go home early Tuesday after the middle school received a threatening phone call. The Sun-Gazette reports the threatening call was directed toward a middle school employee. Both schools were immediately locked down and the state police remained on the campus. The investigation is ongoing. The Pennsylvania State Police out of Montoursville continue their investigation into the cold case homicide of Edward Baluta. On September 7th in 1992, partial skull remains were found on a property in Fairfield Township, Lycoming County. It was determined to be a homicide. The remains were later identified as 47-year-old Baluta of Hazleton. He was last seen the morning of May 23rd in 1992, while his vehicle was seen on September 11th of that year in Cambria County. A $5,000 reward is being offered for information that solves the cold case. Anyone with information is asked to contact the PSP Tips toll-free line at 1-800-472-8477. SNAP work requirements for some adults began this week. The change requires able-bodied adults without dependents aged 18 to 54 to work or participate in approved training for at least 20 hours a week. Failure could lead to benefits being cut off. Those exempt from the requirements include children, seniors, pregnant women, veterans, those experiencing homelessness, and those with certain physical or mental health conditions. The Ross Library in Lock Haven is getting ready for their annual fall book sale. The seasonal sale will offer hundreds of gently used books, movies, puzzles, and more from September 11th through the 13th. The library will be hosting a preview night on September 10th from 5 to 7, where admission is $20. Bag Day is Saturday, September 13th, where shoppers can fill an entire bag for just $5. Proceeds from the sale help to fund programs for children, teens, and adults, as well as maintain the library's collections and resources. And the annual Bloomsburg Fair is just around the corner. This year, they've launched a new tool to navigate the fairgrounds. The new app will have all 1,000 food vendors and their locations. Fairgoers will also be able to select from the 200 events they'd like to attend. In addition, the app also has Lost and Found, scooter rentals, EMS, and more. The 170th annual Bloomsburg Fair kicks off Friday, September 19th. For the latest in news and events, head on over to NorthCentralPA.com. I'm Liz Brady, and you're up to date with 570 News on the Go.